Welcome to our channel. I'm Thiru, and thank you for tuning in. If you're passionate about self-improvement, you've come to the right place. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on more insightful audiobooks. Audiobook Summary: Daring Greatly by Brené Brown. Welcome to this audiobook-style summary of Daring Greatly by Brené Brown. If you're ready to explore the transformative power of vulnerability and courage, you're in the right place. Let's dive into how embracing our imperfections can lead to deeper connections and a life filled with authenticity and bravery. Chapter 1: Vulnerability, the Core of Courage. Let's start with the heart of this book, vulnerability. Many of us think of vulnerability as a weakness, right? But Brené Brown flips this idea on its head. She defines vulnerability as uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. And get this, it's actually the birthplace of courage, creativity, and connection. Think about a time when you stepped out of your comfort zone. Maybe it was asking for help, admitting you didn't know something, or showing your true self to others. That was vulnerability in action. And here's the kicker: vulnerability is not a bad thing. It's essential for living a full, connected life. For example, imagine a team leader at work who admits they don't have all the answers. It might feel scary, but when they do, it creates a culture where others feel safe to be open to. They've created trust, and that's what real leadership is about. Chapter 2: The Shame Resilience Theory. Now, let's talk about something that might hit home for many of us: shame. Brown talks a lot about how shame thrives in silence, secrecy, and judgment. When we bottle up our feelings of failure, disappointment, or inadequacy, shame can control us. But there's hope. Brown introduces us to the shame resilience theory. Shame grows when we feel isolated or misunderstood. But when we talk about it, when we name it, it loses its grip on us. Think about a time when you felt ashamed of something. Maybe it was a failure at work or a mistake in a relationship. The moment you spoke up about it to someone you trust, didn't it feel like a weight lifted off your shoulders? By acknowledging shame and sharing our stories, we begin to heal. We start to see that we're not alone in our struggles. Chapter 3: The Power of Connection. This brings us to connection. Brown argues that connection is the essence of a joyful and meaningful life. But to connect with others, we must first be willing to be vulnerable. This is where it gets real. Imagine being in a friendship where both people are open and honest about their fears, dreams, and imperfections. You feel accepted, not for being perfect, but for being human. That's the power of true connection. Let's look at an example. You're in a meeting at work, and someone shares a personal challenge they've been facing. The team responds not with judgment, but with empathy and support. Suddenly, everyone feels a little closer, a little more human. That's because vulnerability fosters trust. Chapter 4: Perfectionism versus Self-Worth. Next up, perfectionism. Who here is a perfectionist? Raise his hand. I think we all have those moments where we feel like we need to be flawless to be worthy of love, acceptance, or success. But here's the truth: perfectionism is a defense mechanism. It's not about getting things right. It's about protecting ourselves from shame. Perfectionism tells us that we need to be perfect to feel valuable. But that's just a lie. In fact, Brown argues that self-worth comes from being authentic, not perfect. It's about accepting ourselves, flaws, and all. Let's say you're working on a project, and you're stuck in the mindset that it has to be perfect before you show it to anyone. But here's the thing. When you release that need for perfection, you open yourself up to creativity and growth. And more importantly, you show others that it's okay to be imperfect too. Chapter 5: Wholehearted Living. So, what does living wholeheartedly really mean? According to Brené, it's about engaging in life with courage, compassion, and connection. Wholehearted living is about stepping into your life, even when it's messy, and owning your story with pride. It's about saying, I am worthy of love and belonging just as I am. This means accepting both the good and the bad parts of ourselves. It's not about being perfect, it's about being real. And when you live this way, it's contagious. You inspire others to do the same. Chapter 6: The Arena. Let's talk about something that's really powerful: the arena. Brown uses the metaphor of the arena to describe life's challenges. The arena is where you show up, where you take risks, and where you fight for what matters. But guess what? The critics sitting on the sidelines don't matter. Think about someone you admire. Maybe it's an entrepreneur, an artist, or even a friend who has taken bold risks. They might have failed, but they didn't stay down. They got back up, entered the arena again, and kept fighting for what they believe in. That's true courage. Chapter 7: Living Brave. Living brave isn't about fearlessness. It's about acting in the face of fear. Brown defines bravery as the willingness to take action, even when you're scared or uncertain. Bravery comes in many forms. Maybe it's taking the leap to change careers. Maybe it's speaking up in a meeting when your idea is different from everyone else's. Whatever it is, bravery is about moving forward, even when you're unsure of the outcome. Chapter 8: Numbing and the Importance of Feeling. Here's something we all need to pay attention to: numbing. Sometimes, we deal with uncomfortable emotions by numbing them, whether through distractions like social media, overworking, or even substances. But here's the catch: when we numb the pain, we also numb the joy. It's okay to feel the hard stuff. We have to allow ourselves to feel the full range of emotions to fully experience life. Only then can we feel real happiness, real connection, and real growth. Chapter 9: Courage and Compassion. In this chapter, Brown teaches us that true courage comes with compassion. You can't be brave without being compassionate toward others, and equally important, compassionate toward yourself. Think of a time when you were kind to yourself after making a mistake. Maybe you forgave yourself for falling short of your expectations. That's the kind of compassion that fuels courage. Conclusion. Well, that's a wrap on our journey through daring greatly. Remember, embracing vulnerability is the key to living a brave and connected life. When we allow ourselves to be seen, imperfections and all, we unlock a deeper connection to ourselves and others. So, let's all dare greatly. If you enjoyed this summary, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with someone who might need a little reminder of how powerful vulnerability can be. Until next time, stay courageous,